that one, no plan. It's kind of wobbling. I believe it's the motor. We're gonna change them out. We got a new one right here. This is Dorman. $620,974. So basically this is what you're looking at, whereas this is the back side, so going that way, front of engine. It mounts at a few different spots. So you have the top here and the top there are very easy to get to. Those have these brackets, these hold down brackets. Right here. It only came with one, but I'm going to reuse one. They're just plastic parts, support brackets. So there's those two on top, and then looks like there's one here, one there, and then one up top center, and I believe that's it. Yeah, it looks like it's it. If there's anything else, I'll let you know. So to get to it, it's fairly easy. I have, the thing with the 3.6 is you can get AC Delco part number PF63 or PF63E, and then I use K&N filters, so HP 2011 is the one that fits. The thing about getting PF63E or in my case HP 2011 is that it's an extra length on the filter, so it has more volume of filtrage, so you can pump more. You see how much clearance I have there, so not a lot. That's why I'm going to be doing an oil change while I'm doing this. It's a smart idea to just get them both out. To get this radiator out, you have to remove, so this is the front, and right there, that trans cooler line, lose some trans fluid. There's going to be a C-clip, I believe. So that, and then it bolts down there. I'll get a better shot later of where it goes down, but you can kind of see right there is where it starts from. It runs down there, and it goes off to around the corner there. So I might have to drop the splash shield to get closer to it. But yeah, you definitely have to remove that because that is solid aluminum. You can't do anything with that, and it is a clear, yeah, it's clearly in the way. Now, you also have to remove this torque strut. That's fairly easy. I don't have the torque specs on hand, but yeah, to remove this torque strut, you would remove here, and here, here, here. You don't do anything with this. You just remove those two. Those four really. But yeah, so just the trans line that goes to the auxiliary. This is a police package, so it has 3 different trans lines. You can see where those two are on the trans right there. There's one, and then the other one is in the rear. You can't see it, but if you have the one that goes all the way back there to the rear, that is for police package only. Because this thing right here is the auxiliary. So I actually got it easy today. When I replaced that line all the way to the back, that was a pain. It's very, very difficult to get that back in there. It's easier to get it out because you can mangle it and stuff. But yeah, so right here should be fairly simple. I'm going to be removing the air box. I'm going to be removing the torque strut, and that should give me enough room. Yeah, and obviously the oil change. That should give me enough room. So first 2 steps, you got to remove this engine cover just to get it out of the way. To do that, you just unscrew this oil input cap, And then remove that, set it off to the side, and make sure you put that back on. So you don't lose it and we don't get contaminants into the crankcase. And then we got this support bracket so we can remove the air intake. Step one would definitely be to get that support bracket off. That's either a 1/2 inch or a 13 mil. And I already cracked those bolts. You know, I use that Free-All to, you know, kind of clean up the threads and make it a little bit easier. Don't want to do that. So yeah, that should be all good. There is this snap tab right here. I don't know what connector that is, but you gotta take that out. With the torque strut here, we have a 13 millimeter down below here, or a 1/2 inch. We have a 15 mil here, or a 9/16, along with that and that. Those are all 15 mils. And I already broke them loose. They're very easy to get to. Just remove them by hand. I can do this one-handed. You can do it. You can do it. If Britney Spears can get through, what was that, 2011? You can do it. You should probably get a GoPro or something. Anyway, so again, you want to keep these organized. We got the front out here. These are very long bolts. I'm going to keep the 3 of these together so I know where they came from. We got 3 bolts going with 3 bolts. And then for the top here, I got this swivel socket. It's only going to get easier. Should be out now. That's fairly easy. All I did was just break that loose and it should come right out. That slides out. That slides out. Alright, to remove this air box, and I'm also going to be doing some different tune-up processes, we got to take off where it meets the throttle body. So right here, you know, that you just sneak in a flathead and get that rolling. I don't ever remove the purge valve solenoid. That connection is kind of a pain to get to. and I just, you know, it's right there, so I don't want to worry about it too much. Remove this little tab here. This is the PCV valve, so you would just click this little gray tab and slide that off, get it out of the way. And this is our mass airflow sensor. There's a tab on the back side. It's probably got one of those like guides, like those red guides, but it's broken off by now because, again, this is like, I don't know how many times, but you would just remove that red, pull that red back, and then yeah, so then, you know, with the electronics on the left side, you're just going to click that tab, pull this off, and that should be it. Easiest way to do this, probably get this off so that the tube is removed from the throttle body. Make sure I'm not missing any steps here before we go into this. All right, so then we got 1, 2, 3. And this coolant inlet, the proper way it runs over that and under this. We can move it out of the way for this process here. Got everything removed. So we got that part of the box off. Setting it to the side. And this is my reusable K&N air filter. It's been about, I can see light through it. I'll probably run it for like 25,000 miles. I might clean it today. I'm doing all this other stuff. But yeah, it doesn't really need it. Just probably tap it out on a hard surface. It's my car. I can do what I want. That's how you get debris out of an air filter. Cool. So, now this backside, it's got little grommets. I'm gonna just get it out of there. Those little grommets, 1, 2, 3. One of them's kind of messed up, but yeah. All right. Next thing I'm going to be doing is an oil change. Lifting on this vehicle is fairly simple. There's that circle right there. That is the subframe, also known as the cradle. And you're just going to position your jack on the flat surface behind there. So I'll show you here in a second where I position those two jack stands. It's always nice to put things in threes. Just gonna slowly let it down onto those jack stands. And it's still being supported at the front and the rear. Now the weight is on the jack stands as well. Enough so that if the jack were to fail, it's still on those jack stands, but the weight is distributed. It's the same on the other side. The pinch weld is double bonded here. That's where you want to set your jack stand. Alright, so that's the drain pan right here. And this bolt right here is a 15 mil or 9/16. And I am replacing it because I saw a little residue around it, a little drip maybe seeping through the seal. So I'm just gonna take that off. Position your drain pan. So if it's dropping straight down 90 degrees to the floor, you know, it's gonna catch it. And about dead center, so as it initially shoots, it's gonna catch it. Here we go. Bingo. As far as fluids and supplies that you will need for this job, at least 6 quarts of 5W30. I've been using high mileage full synthetic since I got the car at 88,000 miles, and I'm pushing 160, so no engine problems as far as lubrication. So yeah, I would say high mileage full synthetic. This is a new filter that I'm trying out, K&N 2011 versus HP 2011. Only difference is the case of the filter. It's no longer like has a wrench on option, but you saw the clearance in there. There's no need for the wrench on. I just need to get a good grip on it. And I normally use AC Delco Dextron 6, but it's should only lose less than a quart, so I picked up this full synthetic Castrol Transmax. Make sure it says Dextron 6 on it, and got my fluids. So yeah, that's all you need. To remove the oil filter, it's either going to be a piece of sandpaper, or they have like those crimping pliers. If you got the grip strength for it, it's better to just put your hand on it and get it off that way. So yeah, this is already broken loose. You're gonna lose fluid. I jammed a paper towel, some shop towels behind there. So and as soon as I pull it off, you'll see what I'll be doing. It's gonna be turning it upright so it doesn't spill any more than it needs to. And that wasn't a great job, but keeping as much of the fluid in there as I can. My plan throughout this whole process, since the oil filter needs to stay out, is to just cover this with a shop towel. So avoid any contaminants from getting in there. And just get it covered. It's not a bad idea. And after this whole thing, you definitely want to hose this off with some brake clean. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't have anything covering that hole, and I don't want brake clean in my engine. Yeah, so I got the oil filter out, got it draining. Next thing I'll be working on is that trans cooler line. And I'm going to try to start at the bottom. That seems like it's going to be the harder access area. But yeah, definitely need some picks and you know, tiny flathead. So this is a trim removal kit. I do need to take off the splash shield to get to the bottom of the coolant line for the trans coolant line. And yeah, got a flathead there and the rest of this trim kit. There is a third flathead right here, another screw. The rest of these should be like snap tab, Christmas tree design. I got 1, 2, and 3 right there. So yeah, right there. 2 and 3. And those are held on with actual screws. So yeah, fairly easy. It's important when you're doing this to keep everything together and don't let that happen. All right, so there's several ways to get these off. Gently removing that first part and then getting it underneath there to just pop them off. You got a big one right here. To get under that. Make sure you don't lose those as you get them, as you gather them. Try to keep them together. Yeah, so these ones right here, and right here, and that's right in front of the wheel. It's like that on the other side. These are going to be 7 millimeter or 1/4 inch, and they come out very easy. It's just being held, just holding 2 plastics together. Being stubborn. That's it. So now that splash shield part is off. Might have, yeah, there's inside here on the wheel well, we got, it looks like, yeah, it's being held right there. So we gotta get those off as well. But I think it only goes to these top 2. We got 1 and 2. So I need to make a note of 3 additional fasteners. This is the splash shield, completely removed. But there is this right here. This is in the complete center. And it's got like a snap tab fashion. This is the tool I use to get in there. It's very deep. But you go in there and remove this piece, go straight out with it, and then in conjunction with this piece, I was able to get in there and remove that as well. The other 2 fasteners in the fender, this actually goes up higher. So, you know, we had where they drill in, you know, we remove those with our 7 mil. And then there was a snap tab here and a snap tab here. So this is actually inside the fender. But yeah, so with those removed, I was able to get this thing out. Next, I'll be working on that trans cooler line. All right, so with the splash shield removed, this right here is the auxiliary cooler for the police package. You know, this is bolted to the radiator support assembly. Basically, this is where it goes. There, that's it. That's a power, this is a power steering line, power steering cooler. That's what we're looking at right there. So to get that out, you take a flathead and stick it right there and pop this off. And then what you have here is a C-clip. And they're very easy to lose. I'm gonna attempt to do it one-handed. This is a way better view of what I'm working with here. So and that's it. That is called a C-clip. Now the line should come right out. And when I do this, we're gonna lose some fluid, some trans fluid. So I'm gonna leave that in for now. I'm gonna try to do this in one smooth operation. That's how you remove the C-clip for that. So now that we remove the bottom C-clip and it's ready to get pulled out, you have the top that's right here. So it's the same thing. We're gonna take our flathead and get that removed. And that's how you lose a C-clip. I always found it's better not to panic in these situations. Yeah, I found it. All right, as promised, this line right here, pulls straight out. That's all it is. So this line right here is gonna pull straight out. It's a game of leverage. And that is where you need the drain pan. So here's that auxiliary line for the police package. This is the top and this is the bottom. And to get it out, I folded this part down and out, and that pretty much just fell out. So fairly simple. So it's nighttime now. It took me an hour to go down to a dealership that had this cooler line. I got it. It's AC Delco part number 208-92944. I got a brand new line because this one was showing significant rust along the line. I replaced the other two already. Again, the police package has two different lines. I believe it's the output and the auxiliary that are different. I believe the input to the trans, the input line is the same with police package or LS, LZ, LTZ. So yeah, those are the two lines. This is what you do to clean the mass airflow sensor. This is a CRC product, mass airflow sensor cleaner, and that is just to clean. Right there is where you spray it, and then it's got like another outlet right there. Those two little boxes, you just spray it once for a good 10 seconds, shake it out, and let it air out. For here, over here, we have another CRC product, throttle body and air intake cleaner. That's great for cleaning out this. You can wiggle this tube off here. You can wiggle that off and clean out, you know, literally wipe it. The outside is kind of dirty still, but the inside is fairly clean, cleaner than it was. For the PCV valve, positive crankcase ventilation, PCV, you just do the same thing. Take this stuff and just spray this hose out, wipe it down. It's pretty straightforward. This is the throttle body. Same thing, just spray it, wipe, you know, wiggle it, make some room. Yeah, but I got all the carbon deposits out of that. So I got those as clean as I want them. All right, we're gonna be moving on now. These, again, so you're looking at a 10 millimeter to take these off. Basically, 10 millimeter is also used for all these nuts. So there's one of the support brackets right here. There's the other. There's the middle one right there. And it's the same on this side as the other side. So those are all 10 millimeter. So that is showing where the bracket is. I'm gonna take those two out now with my 10 millimeter. Right there. Right there. And right there. So you want to leave these plastic retainers in for now. And it looks like these washers are completely different. So you have a smaller washer on the bottom, a bigger washer on top. And I'm actually going to lay these out exactly like this. Yeah, so this support bracket is not moving. Leave it in there for now until we get there. Next we got this right here in the middle. And that comes off. Now these bolts are different, so I'm laying them off in an organized fashion on the ground. Coming over here. So there it is with a stubby extension. The stubby extension. It's about 3-inch extension. I'm able to get around underneath this radiator hose. Use it kind of like a screwdriver now. this out. So this is the bottom. So we'll take this in the bottom. This is the top. This is the bottom. This is the top. And this is our middle bracket. Middle bracket. Bottom. Top. So it's laid out in a nice orderly fashion. So it looks like we got these electrical connectors now. And first we gotta take out these tabs. So gray one disconnects there. Gray one down below disconnects there. And it looks like there might be one more. Yeah, so that connector is disconnected all the way around. And it doesn't look like there's any locking tabs, so that just comes right out. I'm gonna drop it down below so it's out of the way. Looks like there's one more connector tab to the other side. And that one came right out. So it looks like we're good to roll. I'm taking off these two brackets right here because I got some room that we couldn't get to earlier. Two brackets. And I'm setting them where they need to go. Should be good now. That's it. Success. Alright, so I'm going to sneak this other one in. Be careful of the backside because that is a radiator, and if you damage any of those cooling fins, radiator's, you know, not as effective. So, you know, I'm just going to try to get this in without even touching the radiator. That's it. Back in there. I'm going to start with this middle one. So Dorman kind of cheaped out on this part right here. This comes out of that middle part of the bracket. I just took a flathead and pressed on this pin right there. And while I'm pushing pressure on it to slide it off, actually it's right here where the lip opens up like that. It just clips on. And if you just take a flathead, push that back gently enough for it to, you know, clear the area, and then you just, with your other finger on the back side, just pop it off. It slides right off. And to reinstall, just find the area right there. And clip it right back on. Yeah, that's it right there, where the flush side is on the outside. All right, so reinstalling the bracket. Loosely installed. I'm going to work on the other two. working this right side. Now the left side. Loosely installed on that side. Kind of a pain because there's these clips that actually bolt it. They're kind of cheap. I don't know why it's not just bolted to the frame, but it is easier to change out a clip than it is to change what the whole body. Don't want to strip out the whole body, I guess. Next are the bottom ones. Alright, so that's the bottom piece right there. And I'm going to line them up. Easy money. Same on the other side. Sneak under all that electrical stuff. And just, so I had to push it up to get into that spot. And that's in. So everything is loosely connected. Ready to tighten it all down. So these are our torque specs for the procedure. We got 10 Newton meters for the radiator bracket upper support bolt, that is 7.376 foot-pounds. And then 6 Newton meters on the fan shroud bolt and the condenser hold down bracket. Those are both 4.425 foot-pounds. So it looks way different in my car than this model. I had to break a tie strap here because they had, this is the left side of the vehicle, and they had it coming up here. This is a dormant part, so I don't know what's going on. But I had to break a tie strap here and route it this way. So then it goes down here, and I put a clip, I zip tied it to another hole right there. So it's out of the way of the fan, it's out of the way of the exhaust, it's out of the way of the trans, and it's, you know, not moving. Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. Everything has protective on it. And then I put all these other snap tabs into place. Alright, so our trans cooler line that we removed, I had to get it up at first. I had to get it in place here. You know, you got to work the top to get the top somewhat over the radiator. you get that over here, and then all it is taking there it is. So you just take that and get it in the tube back into that auxiliary cooler. You should hear it pop, click in. All right. That looks good. It's in there. That's a better view of what we need to do. That's all it is. So I lost the C-clip in the process, and I found it. Head fell down, straight down, and I ended up having to take out all of those 5 bolts just to get under the radiator with that out. So I got the bottom one. I'm going to show you how to properly install it. I'm not gonna you gotta really hold on to it, make all your moves very intentional, very solid moves, and it's easy to get it in 1/3 instead of 2/3. So you have to, once you get one in place, you got to really hold on to it tight and stretch it up and over. If you see, there's one little divot right there, and then there's 2 more right there and there. So basically you're trying to get, imagine a circle cut into 30%, 30%, 30% with 3 walls in between those thirds, and you have to get up and over one of them. So it's really easy for this clip. It's really easy for this clip. You see how it's designed. So you can get 1 in and 1 in, and then it's stuck, and then you got to slide it back out and try again. So just hold on to it tight and get up and over one of those humps to get completely in. But it basically just locks the line into place, and don't lose it like I did. Yeah, I mean, they call them Jesus clips because you're supposed to be like Jesus, but actually the whole time I was doing that, I was thinking of St. Anthony. So they should call them St. Anthony clips. And on another note, alligator clips should be called crocodile clips. The throttle body bolts are 10 Newton meters. 10 Newton meters is also 7.376 foot-pounds. This is a trick that I like to do when I'm doing my oil to get a startup that's clean and somewhat lubricated. What I call like wicking a filter. Just add a little bit around the edges, and that's it, and let it soak in.